Let's take a look at how we can run the face setup on characters like this, which have one single eye in the center of the face. Now, this type of faces are often called Cyclops from the Greek mythology, and also appears in many familiar cartoon characters. Now, this model has been modeled by Justice Nelson. There's a link in the description below to some more of her artwork. And this is the model, and the body has already been rigged with advanced skeleton, and we're now gonna take a look at rigging the face. Let's fire up advanced skeleton, go to the face section, and we'll see that there is a checkbox here that says Cyclops. So we're gonna make sure to turn that on, and then we'll start from the top. As per usual, the first thing we're gonna do is define the mask, which is gonna be roughly these faces. Now I'll just modify the selection a little bit so we get a more of a clear cut. And we'll continue defining these objects. So we have face, it's gonna be the main mesh here. All head, we are gonna have the main mesh, and the eye, as well as the eyelash and the eyebrow here. Now, where it says right eye and left eye, what we're going to do is we're going to select the eye objects. And in this model, there's actually two, because there's like a glassy layer that goes on top of the eye. So we'll select both the eyes, and then we will choose this to be both the right and the left eye. Okay, the next are teeth and tongue. Now, this model actually don't have any teeth or tongue, so we're going to skip that. But it does have a eyebrow, and it does have an eyelash object. And yes, the Cyclops checkbox is on. All right, we'll move on to the fit section. We'll hit eyeball. Now, by default, that's going to be in the correct placement because it uses the placement from the body section. Then eyelid outer. I'll hide this eyelash for now just to make things simpler. And eyelid outer, where the eyelids start, we'll use this edge loop. Next, we'll do eyelid main, which is going to be the first edge loop where essentially the top lid is going to make contact with the bottom lid when the character blinks. So we'll choose this edge loop. And for the inner, we need to go right inside the eyelid, and we'll use the assist button to help peel open the eyelid. Makes it much easier for us to see inside, and we'll pick that loop that runs right around the eye on the inside of the eyelid. And once we've chosen the eyelid inner, you see we get the eyelid object. And sometimes it can be useful just to hide the model and inspect that the eyelid is looking correct and it's wrapping from the outside right through to the inside, and that's looking good. So let's continue. The next, we got the lip. Now on this model, the edge loops are running around the lip, fairly close to the lip, but we want the lip outer to be a bit further out and probably around here. But at this point, if I double click, you see the edge loop doesn't run around the lip, but that is not a problem. We'll just manually make sure to make a selection that is forming a loop around the lip. So what we can do is select this edge and then double click on this edge, and we get the selection that runs right across from left to right here. And then manually just add the edges to form a loop around the lip. And for this, I can select here, double click here, and that will complete the loop. We'll say that's going to be our lip outer. Lip main, going to be the point where there is contact between the upper and lower lip. Just going to be this loop. That's a lip main. And again, to get the inner loop, let's use the assist that peels open the lip. And let's just go right inside and pick the inner loop. And as we click lip inner, it creates that lip object. Likewise, we can hide the model here and just inspect that that object is actually wrapping around from the outside to the inside. It's looking good. Let's move on. Next, we got eyebrow inner. All right, here it gets interesting because if you click on the help image, you see that the eyebrow inner normally is going to sit right on the inner portion of the left side eyebrow. But here we have a single eyebrow going from left to right. So for the eyebrow inner, we're going to pick this vertex. Next, the eyebrow outer, we're going to be over here. And eyebrow center is going to be in the middle. And next, the forehead object. Again, well, it's going to be a little bit special due to the nature of this face. You can see that by default, we're going to select these 3 points. But it's going to be hard to find the center point when the eye is placed in the center. So instead of that center point there, that's going to be kind of on the nose, we will pick the center point to be a vertex on the main mesh, and it's going to be the vertex where the outer eyelid is running through. So it's going to be that point right there. Next, we'll choose this vertex, then we'll just trace how that edge loop falls down towards a point that intersects with the corner of the eye. So it's going to be that vertex. Now with these 3 selected, we'll hit forehead, and you see we get a decent placed forehead object. And then we got a few options here: jaw pivot, cheek, smile bulge, etc. Now I'm going to go quickly through these because they are essentially the same as they would be on a character that didn't have this Cyclops eye. Alright, so far so good. Now there's no tongue on this character, so we'll skip that, but we will define pupil and iris. We can see here where it's intended to be the edge loop for the iris and the pupil. So I'll just go ahead and select this edge loop and this edge loop. And then we'll move on to the build. Now, there's always the option to run step by step on the build, which is recommended to get the best result, because you can tweak each steps. But for the sake of running this quick, let's just run the build advanced phase function. That will automatically run through all the steps. And there we go. Our face setup is complete, and we can see that for the eye controller, there is only a single controller in the center, and the eyebrows actually have a left and a right. And if you select them both, they will kind of work together to give expressive control of the center eyebrow. If we go ahead and test the controls, we can see that we have a functional Cyclops face setup character. And that's it for this time. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.